Yo, welcome back to the Immigrant Section. It's your boy Abbas Wahab. How the hell are you? First things first, if you're watching, please smash that subscribe button. You know you want to join the Immigrant Section. Whatever you're listening on, make sure to click follow or whatever that plus button always is. If it's Apple, 5 stars wouldn't hurt. And enough of the housekeeping. Today in the studio with me, the motherfucking George Rivard. How are you, brother?
I'm good. It's good to be back. The podcast, it's sweet. It was kind of.
First of all, you were late. I'm gonna cut you off and just say you were crazy late.
Oh, I was black people late.
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm right here. Like,
It's like the white. That's the whitest way to say I was black people late. If you haven't watched the first episode, my nigga grew up in the Yukon. All right. And if you don't know the Yukon, stop. Google Yvonne from the Yukon. Yvonne of the Yukon.
Think of the northest place, and then it's probably more north.
And then a little more north of that. Yeah. The like Santa Claus would be like, wow, what a hick. You know what I mean? Like,
it's too cold up there. The reindeer die.
Do they call northern village people? Is it still a hick up there, or is there a different?
Oh yeah, it's hick or
still
like
hick.
it's like rednecks. We have
legit. You guys in Yukon will call people rednecks.
Oh yeah,
goddamn.
and we have them.
Yeah. Oh, I would imagine.
And I love they have no reason to hate
Yukon.
black people. They're like, I'm the only black person you've known. Why are you being racist? They're like, TV.
So they are racist.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yes. It's just, and like I saw like someone with
they're just playing the role they know.
Playing the role.
Yeah.
They're like, play your position, small soldier.
Yeah, exactly. Oh shit, that's my boy. We quote shit over here.
Oh yeah, you know what's
that
sick?
was Tupac, right?
No, I think that's
play
Gangstar.
Position small. Oh yeah, it was
Gang-
play position small soldier.
Fuck,
It was Gangstar. That was a full clip, right?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Okay.
A little redemption.
All of a sudden, they're just like, people come, you got to take your card, Abbas.
Yeah, I was like, oh, fuck. Give me your black people card.
Yeah.
Start pulling yours out, not you.
Remember Tattoo on Queen?
Is that like a place?
It was a club, and I saw a DJ Premier there. And
wow, how long ago?
Oh, it was when I first moved to the city. And I didn't know, like, who he was. Like, I knew that he was a good guy, but you hear him and then you're like, holy shit, I know all these songs. Like, you know when you're like, you're hearing someone?
Wait, you only saw DJ Premier. Like, Guru was already dead.
He was already dead.
Gotcha.
Okay. But he was playing all the stuff and he was amazing.
Oh,
and
he's one of the best DJs of all time. Currently living, like a living legend.
Oh, yeah, because Dilla's dead. Nujabes is dead. Oh, these guys. What is it? What are they feeding them?
Nujabes got hit by a bus, as you know. Dilla was like sick as fuck. Dilla made Fife Dog look like fucking LeBron James.
I know,
you know what I mean?
like,
those niggas were sick. Some of those Dilla, man, he produced a whole album like on his deathbed.
Oh yeah.
That nigga was mad talented.
Oh, it's so crazy. You know what they need to do more of? Because like Nujabes is Samurai.
But first of all, how's the DJ Premier show?
Oh. Fuck! It was like hip hop to the. You know when like they say the
full scratching.
We were breaking. There was
You breakdance?
Yeah, I do.
Oh fuck, bro! I wish we had the space here and the camera work. Like I wish I had a camera guy.
I mean,
like bust the move.
I mean, just like soon.
You fucking break an ankle.
I have faith. You'll be there.
So people were literally like, it was like a rap video.
Yeah, it was like a rap video, and it was one of those places where like the capacity of the club was like. Because they fool you because there's a downstairs, but no one's downstairs.
Yeah.
Like if there's a fire, we all die.
That's so funny. That's crazy. That's such a pre-COVID thing.
Oh, like now I'm like, why would we ever do that? What?
I see it the second that is legally allowed, it will go right back to.
Oh yeah, no one's gonna.
It's human nature. We nothing more than like being in a. Like watching the person you want to watch with all these people that know the track, and he's playing Gangstar stuff. I'm assuming, right?
And you all know, and everybody has memories connected to when you've heard. These things
exactly.
For the
So
first
there's
time.
so much emotion.
Yeah.
But wait, who was that? Was any MC on the mic?
No, it was just him spinning, and like I think he had a sampler, and he was creating the beats that he'd make on stage, and just like showing off his like technical prowess.
So there was no like any songs with actual like Guru lyrics.
No.
Oh,
it was
so
sick,
it's all instrumental,
like just
mixing
like turntablism, and just like
fuck.
and he kept it. And there was the obligatory like 5 MCs beforehand that no one cares about.
Yeah, of course, the whole entourage.
Oh, it's just so bad. And sometimes like,
did you watch the Biggie documentary by the way?
No,
on Netflix?
I need to watch.
I got a story to tell.
Is it good?
Well, it's just like I wanted to bring up his entourage that he ran with. Just so many. There's always like. There's so much size variation in entourage. There's always the little guy And there's always like a couple like straight thugs
that are just
you
like,
know? Like they are ready for anything to pop up.
they're literally still playing the lookout, just like
Yeah,
it's a
like-
gun. Yeah, it's not a that's not a prop.
Like prison style dominoes. It's like you're out.
you're out.
You know?
You literally made it, man.
Yeah.
Like, chill. Like they had the record company as someone. You know what that movie? It looks sick. It's so crazy that they're younger. Biggie's younger than us.
Dude, I just did a fucking. I was on my Patreon episode. I was talking about that. Now I listen to Tupac lyrics that I've been listening to for years, decades, and it's like, and I've attached meaning to them, and I'm still saying the same lyrics as I drive, and now as if they're giving me wisdom. And now I'm like, man, Tupac was fucking like 7 years younger than me when he wrote this.
Oh,
shit.
it's so funny when you realize like when you realize why kids are doing things like. Why did Kodak Black go to jail? Because he's a teenager. Teenagers do stupid shit.
Is Kodak Black in jail?
I think he died. Which one died?
No, Kodak Black is alive.
Alive. Kodak Black's alive. Bobby Shmurda just got out.
Yeah. By the way, do you know everything related with the Bobby Shmurda thing?
No, I just see the memes.
I was
and it's
so
just like-
excited. I was so hopeful that you knew. Because I'm like, I need someone to explain to me why this guy. So pretty much, he stayed in prison for not snitching.
Yeah.
That's the
He
idea.
didn't rat his boys out.
So his boys are just out being like, yo, he's our guy. Like,
And it just adds to, and the record label is probably just like, yes, it's giving him clout. Like nothing like makes you better than like either dying or going to, the second best thing other than dying, which means they can put out greatest hits, biopics.
oh, they
is
want
going to-
artists to die so bad.
Oh, because then you don't do stupid things like get hammered and say stupid shit on Twitter. Like,
Or anything, or ask for money.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know what
yeah.
I mean?
It's just- that's the main thing.
Or get more
Ask for
popular to
money.
be able to have increased negotiating power.
or
None
like
of that
start your
silly
own
shit.
label, heaven forbid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All those terrible
Yeah,
scenarios.
where they can't get money is like go to jail. They love that.
Wow. So Bobby, well, he wasn't putting out, Shmurda wasn't, I know all these people out there, like they probably know the exact context, but
And they-
like he wasn't putting out, like Lil Wayne did shit from jail. Tupac was doing shit from jail, but then at the same time, Tupac was like, your spirit like dies. Like at least for me, it was dead in prison. Like I couldn't write anything except for Dear Mama,
Oh yeah, which is like
which is like a love letter, like not a love letter, but like a thank you,
it's
mom.
arguably
letter.
one of the okay. If we're gonna do, I would say it's Dear Mama is in like the top 100 songs.
Period.
Yeah, like it's like
I know.
When people like get all weird, like no, it's
I would say Changes for Tupac.
Oh, Changes-
Changes would be in the top. I don't know about Dear Mama because Dear Mama's been done,
dude.
by
You said
every
Changes,
artist.
and I got the shivers.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know?
Dun, 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 na, 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 na.
Cops give a damn about a Negro. Oh,
Pull the trigger, kill a nigga. He's a hero, and it's so funny. That's like the pure like same. When you listen to 90s rap, it's the same theme of what's continued to happen up until this George Floyd thing, and then now people are like educated based on that George Floyd thing. It turns out, this is.
well, I think what happened with hip hop is that the money just came in front because like we forget, and we weren't really alive for that, but hip hop wasn't able to be played in black clubs. You couldn't play like. Have you ever like? It was still like underground. Like you couldn't.
Like what year are we talking?
We're talking about like 96, 90s. You can't be hearing hip hop on the radio unless it was like.
Oh, but that's what when you watch the Biggie thing, that was Biggie started breaking through in the East Coast in the early 90s. He was the first guy breaking hip hop tracks into radio. But up until that point, like you were saying, it wasn't like pop was and R&B was the blackest thing allowed.
Yeah. And to the point, have you ever like been to an after hours and tried to play hip hop?
Oh no,
They're like that's the exact reason you couldn't play it. Like,
dude. Like after hours is just fucking like
you need to play.
it's like
chill
Haiti.
shit.
It's like Hades,
Yeah.
like from like
Dude, how
Aladdin
could
or what? Or not Aladdin, Hercules.
Yeah. It's like literally like places that are outside of space and time.
Yeah,
Like,
oh my
literally,
God.
it's like how long has it been? We could have been here 5 days, man.
I
don't know.
A bartender is there. Like you're like, how'd you end up with this? A bartending at an after hours.
There's
place?
one.
Imagine the
called
trauma
Yoga
in your life.
that has a band, that has a house band.
What'd you say?
Has a house band. I've been to one with a house band.
Like, because these are the people that pretty much go 3 to 6 a.m., right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they had a house band there that played 3 sets. Imagine doing a comedy gig at an after hours.
I would never.
You'd have to.
You couldn't. It's
You
like
couldn't. You would piss someone off and someone would shoot you.
in comedy, it's like the Friday and Saturday shows that have 2 or 3 shows. The late show is always like fucking hectic because everyone's drunk at the 10, 11 o'clock time. Imagine 3 a.m., bro.
People would
be fucking done, bro.
People would. Oh gosh.
People would fight.
Someone
Probably
would
attack
shoot
the
you.
stage. Yeah. People would attack the stage.
You know, I
at
freaking
that.
love that though when you like say something that gets someone angry at you.
Like enough to. Did
Like
you see
not-
Max? Max had someone run up on stage and try to. It actually hit him. Right? I
Sheldrick?
think he tagged Max Sheldrick.
What
yeah.
did he say that was like?
Oh, dude, he went in. He started some tall, tiny dude in the audience in like
he's
Windsor.
a big dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Max started going in on his sister who was heckling the thing, and he called it like, "Oh, you're, like," he started doing all his like, you know how comics sometimes prep anti-heckling bits.
Yeah.
So he had one that was like the female version, and it was like it started going really hard in on her. And his brother was like drunk and was like, "Blah, blah." He started pushing tables out of the way and ran up.
Like I'm trying
and jumped on stage.
Like you have a sister, right?
I have two sisters.
Yeah, I have two sisters too. I'm trying to think like if I had a comedy show and my sister started heckling, I'd be like,
Oh yeah, exactly. No. Some
it's
people
all
are
you.
like, you know, like, but sometimes short guys can be two ways, right? You can be either embrace the shortness and know like I'm not someone that should physically be approaching someone in a step up scenario like that.
Oh yeah. Life's not a movie. You'll get beaten up.
Exactly. And some it's such a chip on their shoulder still. When they get drunk, they like manifest that shit and they pick constant fights. Like I've seen this where like the smallest guy in the group constantly is fighting because he knows there's bigger guys in the group that'll back it up.
In my B-boy crew, we have one like that. And
Was the smallest guy the most violent?
yeah, and what happens? I didn't realize I was hanging out with a woman. And
NWA, Easy E.
I was looking at his photos. I was showing this woman. She's like, he's short. I'm like, how do you know? It's like, look at his photos. There's not one with a person beside him, and it's always at an angle that makes him look tall. I'm like, and she's like, yeah, guys will do that because women have to pick up on that shit too. It's like a weird like we evolved. We do this, they do this. We do this, we counter at that.
Oh yeah, like tall chicks will do the opposite.
Yeah, there's things that people do, and I'm like,
Yeah.
now I see it. I'm like, all his photos are like that.
Yeah.
He's not like.
That's just I don't mind that. That's just trying to survive on dating.
Oh, we got to
apps.
do that. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
we all got to find our angle. We all got to do our shit. But it's
I
like,
think I want to be Yukon's black comic a little bit, but I got to separate myself from the hard.
but in this case, Max is like fucking. He's like 6'3", 6'2".
Oh, yeah, he's
and
the
the guy
tall
was
guy.
tiny. It's like, why are you? I mean, you're drunk, so we'll blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the But like,
And he's not small, Max.
no, I'm saying Max is big. He's not average. He's actually a big dude, and this dude is tiny. So it's like I've seen that so many times where it's like the small dog barking at the big dog. They're both leashed, but the small dog's at like fronting. You know what I mean?
What's the
Like,
best when you see the big dog just take on a paw and not hurt it, just like put it down like that. It's the best when they know.
I haven't seen that, but I fucking wish I saw that.
It's hilarious
And just be like,
because they just like know. Because
Stop
big
it.
dogs know. It's like how. Once again, if you ever had to hang out with, like I'm sure maybe Max had to do this, but people who are big their whole lives are usually have to be gentle because their whole lives they can't hurt people.
Oh, absolutely.
They-
No. Max is normal big. My roommate is like 6'10", 6'11". Okay? Like South Sudan. Huge guy upstairs. Like he's down here doing his laundry, bro. You should see him. He's fucking like an L. You know what I mean? Like he is the fucking most gentle, nicest
Because you
dude
just have
you'll
to be
ever
like,
meet.
because even if you don't mean to, like you'll like,
Yeah, like imagine Shaq probably has to like be like, I'm coming into the room.
Hey,
like,
guys,
I'm like,
don't,
whoa, like, whoa, you know what I mean? Otherwise, it's too like,
oh, dude, Shaq. Oh gosh, he's huge.
it's too much of a presence unless you like balance it out with extra
Like
gentleness.
how big is LeBron? Like I saw LeBron in person once, and it was the All-Star game, and I was in Yorkville, and I was like,
Was DJ Premier there, bro? Like, fuck, man.
No,
DJ
I-
Premier was just scratching.
I
Google was alive at the time.
because you know Yorkville, right?
Yes.
How I noticed it, I was like, there's a lot of black people over there. Like in
Too much. Yorkville is like Toronto's like uppity area. It's not. I don't know New York. I want to say Soho, but Soho's like more like Queen, like shit
I
like
would
that.
say what's Park Avenue?
The Village, Park Ave, Fifth
Yeah,
Ave. Yeah,
yeah.
like that shit.
Like
Ooh.
white. Like we're like we have the money here.
Yeah, the affluent. You know,
And then,
well-to-do,
So
etc.
I look over and I'm like, there's a lot of black people, and they're playing their own music in one, which is like one of the best restaurants in Toronto. Like it costs a lot of money. Like and then I look over and I'm like, it's LeBron, and because like growing up, he was the guy. He still is the guy, but like I have LeBron too.
He's still the ultimate athlete.
yeah.
Still, that's the crazy thing. That's how long his reign has been.
He can
that
decide-
you growing up. I remember being in 8th grade and people wearing LJ3 shoes.
I have
Like,
LJ2s here, not here, but like in my house. I still kept my LJ2s.
There you go. So people
Like-
since 8th grade for me, people have been like King James. I guess since
15
maybe
years
since
old
1980.
almost. Yeah, 15-year-old shoes. Just because I want to have them and I don't want to sell them. I just have them. Like
Did you see LeBron himself?
yeah, and like everybody, and then I was like, I played it cool. I did. But then
Wait,
I-
aren't you just walking by? What do you mean you played it cool?
Like I didn't. People were stopping and taking pictures, and I was just like,
Who's that guy in the purple sweater?
And I was
you're
just
like, play it cool.
I was like, play it cool, play it cool.
Hey, fellow black people. They just rushed.
I just did like the nod, you know, and then I went around the corner, and then I just phoned my buddy. I'm like, yo, guess who I saw?
Dude, you know, everyone who walked by stopped and called someone, and that's why it's so packed there. You know,
yeah, because like
everyone called their people. Yo, fucking
the only
king,
person
the king is here.
Who could be like probably what's her name? Kanye just divorced her. Kim Kardashian.
That's so funny. No one has, dude. That is so funny. That's how fast this is happening. The divorce. It's like, what's her name? They used to be married.
We just like
as if Kim Kardashian loses all her name's holding power outside of Kanye. No, I think they'll be fine. Is the divorce a real thing? It happened.
I don't know, but imagine like having your business go through like the world.
Oh, like a divorce?
But almost like they probably make money off of this because they're like press is press, right?
They're at a level where it's like, I don't know. I have no idea. Like this, I have no idea. If
like
they're
they're
losing
famous.
a bunch of money, if they're gaining a bunch of money.
Like Kanye at one point maybe, but like when he was on the Chappelle show, maybe he could walk around. But now like he can't walk anywhere. He's like as celebrity as it gets. Like you don't get bigger than Kanye.
Right now, maybe with Kim you
recognizable.
get bigger with Kanye. Like them separate are less.
Yeah, they did help.
But they were together so long and had a family that despite being separate, their ghost relationship continues. Like the after effect of you know what I mean?
But then there's also the kids, because like, celebrity or not, that's gonna fuck up that's not like.
But that's like half the kids you know are divorced. Come on, right?
Oh yeah, I don't know. Like
everyone.
I have a weird privilege where my parents have been together. Like when people talk about like, oh, it's tough.
Oh,
I'm
fuck
like,
you. You're from a stayer family?
I'm a stable, like,
You
home
motherfucker.
where like parents work on themselves and say they're sorry to me and like all this stuff. Like,
Would your family do group therapy together?
oh yes,
100%.
So my family's the type of family when it came to like learn about like sex ed.
Dude,
like,
I
we
love
got
this.
together as a family.
Oh
and
my
learned.
God.
I'm like, I mean, all questions.
So, okay, wait. Your parents are white.
Yes.
So, okay, just tell the...
So
for the
I'm
people-
adopted for all of those, and I think there's like a type. Okay, there's two types of white people. This is my hot take that adopt kids. White people that adopt black kids, like really Christian.
There's
white
California
people.
ones and Yukon ones, okay? Like, that's pretty much it, right? You're either in Orange County or the fucking Yukon.
Yeah,
with a
like
heart.
you're either like really Christian white people or like really woke white people.
Yeah, missionary
Yeah.
or Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, you have that too.
Yeah.
And like, so like when you have like woke white people, like they're just like, we're going to teach our kids about sex ed together. And like, it wasn't weird. None of it was like weird.
Dude, I fucking... Man.
Were you excused out of sex ed or is that?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, at the first time I had sex ed, I actually took the permission slip home and learned the hard lesson of the immigrant life is...
Oh, you know how to forge.
As an immigrant kid, you learn to mediate pretty quick. You get a grasp of what your parents are not okay with from a societal point of view and what they are okay with. And you only present the stuff that's okay. And everything that you know is going to be a problem, you just mediate.
So you've probably done the translate, like someone's phoned and...
Oh, yeah. I did a whole video on that. But that's like very common. I'm talking about like sex ed, like any sort of trip thing. Like I wouldn't even ask about trips for money. I would always like figure out my own little hustles to have a little bit of money.
Oh,
and then
get
just
that $5 for the bus. Like, you know, remember you have to do that?
yeah. Oh no, it'd be
yeah.
like $10 to go to this thing. Like field trips have like a fucking budget.
Which is messed up, right? Like
It's a small amount. It's like you've subsidized 90% of this.
Yeah.
Now you just need $10 from 20 students. What?
You think that would be easy to run on as a president? What are those people? A PM would be like
Prime Minister?
Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, let's have it so our kids don't have to pay for this.
Yeah, $10. But I remember my dad just being like, like you're done, like $10. But he'd give it to me. But it would be so much negativity and like an ordeal to get that $10. I'm like, I'll just.
So you have to realize what was important for your growth, and sex ed is important for your growth.
So the first one, I take it to him, and my dad is like, "What the fuck is like sex? Like they stop at sex, you know what I mean? Like you're done, you're done. You know what I mean? You're done, you're done."
Yeah.
So I didn't. That one, they fucking literally took me to the remedial room. as they took the class to the lecture room and like did 3 classes. They bulk teach sex where I was from. They bring in like all the 4th grade and like 6th or something like that. So I had to go to the remedial room and just be there with the fire starting kids. You know what I mean? And the super allergic kids. I have a whole bit on it.
Yeah, the allergic kids.
Like I do a bit. I was like, these kids were so allergic. One kid went into anaphylactic shock just watching the Nutty Professor. You know what I mean? Like people, if you do that joke, just lead up to it. People go, oh, but if you leave it quickly, it's funny. But if you like linger on it, people are like, oh, you hack.
You're making it. It's because it's just like you gotta like go in and get out.
You can't just be like the Nutty Professor and raise your eyebrows twice. Like, Nutty. But legit, after that, forged it every time.
And you think the teachers must know, because like.
So wait. Did you have a wet dream and ask your parents? Like,
no, I didn't. But I did have the weird thing where you had, because you already knew.
Yeah.
Because we already educated on it. So you wouldn't have to ask.
So you had so the birds and bees in your house was a full, like, did you have like family meetings?
Yes, but I was usually the topic of them. Like.
I love that. And like, what if someone is talking in your family meeting, would someone be like, and someone jumps in, and would your mom be like, let him finish or her finish?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love that. I watch so many movies.
And the thing is, like, it sounds corny, but it really is a healthy way to raise a family.
100%. Do not misunderstand me. I am not saying the way that I came up was healthy by any measure. It's simply what was. You know what I mean?
But you know what's weird though? But my parents would be pretty cool with like, if say, because I had like African friends who were like raised like you, but if I went to their
raised
house,
like you,
they were raised to their house. I
show the lashings.
I went to their house for some weird reason. All of a sudden, it's like when you go to a different country, their parents had jurisdiction over me.
Oh, yeah.
I remember just being like, okay. And, like, just knowing it's like, I guess I'm going to like the unfun church. Or
exactly. Like, you know, like sometimes why there's like a clear authority figure giving authority vibes, and that's like immigrant parents. Like, it is not there was never a discussion. There was never the pretense of a two-way street of communication. It was simply like, dude, that's why I joined the military at 17. I think about it because like I was already I was already a trained obedient. You know what I mean? That's why boot camp was easy for me. Boot camp was a joke. The only problem was waking up at 4:45 every day. That was the problem.
See,
with
the thing
boot
is,
camp.
like, I could do that now. You know what's messed up? Talking about the military, I've been getting hella targeted ads
for military,
Canadian military.
That's so funny. Their algorithm shows that a nigga in your situation,
like,
you're at in life,
we need to send you there.
They're like, he just started a podcast. Hit him with the ads.
He has too much spare time. Have you thought about your future, son? Now. I have a question. It's hella bilingual because it's the military.
Well, absolutely hella bilingual. Yes, that was my first experience meeting French people.
Realizing that Canada is
bilingual.
Because I realized, because my dad's French, so I knew that Canada was bilingual, and also he has a federal job, and that's what people forget is that the military is government.
It's a government job.
So there must be things like. Sometimes there must be bureaucracy where it's like, sorry, we didn't get your papers through. Like,
dude, I fucking talk about this all the time. Anytime like people like talk about the idea that 9/11 was an inside job by like the CIA, all these people. I'm like, the government is just like offices, a collection of offices with fucking humans that work 9 to 5. They're government. They leave the second the hour stops. There is no overtime culture. There is no fucking life-work balance. You have hours and you leave. You know what I mean?
Like, you could be in the middle of something and be like,
I'm out. No, not even in the middle of something. If you know you can't finish it, you don't start it. You don't start it, dog. What do you mean? In the middle of it? Man, people budget their time. Like government jobs, it's like, you know, like all through school, they go like, all through school, they encourage you to be like a brown noser a little bit.
Yeah.
To be the go-getter. Look, I finished it early. What can I do something? They kind of encourage that a little, even though like you'll get eaten alive on the fucking playground. You're the one getting destroyed.
Oh, yeah, don't the kid that freaking ass. Like, remember when that kid would you would not do your homework. I would not do my homework, and then the teacher would almost forget, and that one kid freaking asked.
You haven't collected homework.
Like, that kid's like,
he's like, like that's securing a beating.
Yeah, you're just like,
there's no predators. When there's kids like that, that means the system has no predators. You need predators in the system to stop that shit. And I don't mean sexual love. You know? I think that went without saying. You need pedophiles in the system to make these kids act right.
To make them more active. This gets rid of kids that run slow.
But the point is that the gung-ho mentality that was encouraged in grade school and high school continues. If you do like technical things, engineering, medicine, it's encouraged. Mm-hmm. If you go to academia, if you go to startups, it's encouraged. But if you go into government jobs, that is not. Okay, so in government jobs, they hold your horses. You know what I mean? Press your brakes, playboy. Yeah. This is now you got to pace yourself for life. Okay, now we're talking about 30-year careers. Don't be like, I'm done. What do I do next? Calm the fuck down. Okay,
you're not going anywhere until that guy dies.
Nothing else is to be done, and you can't look like you don't have shit to do because that's gonna fuck with our budget. So you need to learn how to do your shit at the correct office pace and know how to look busy. Like, that's the government mentality.
I had a boy that was in the military and they had to get rid of bullets because if you don't get rid of them...
Dude, did I tell you that?
No, the boy, he was like, he's out now. But
that's exactly because
they're like, why aren't you using these? Do we not have to give you that?
Well, for the reserves, that might be regular force shit. But for the reserves, every time live ammunition is like... because it's government, and they want to be safe, and it's Canada. Every time live ammunition is moved to like from the unit to the shooting range, paperwork has to be filled out.
Which makes sense because someone wants.
Which does make sense. I'm not saying it's fucking stupid. You know what I mean? I'm saying that's how it is. But if you don't finish your ammunition, the paperwork's got to be filled out for that drive back.
Oh, so
and it's government motherfuckers. So they'll be like, just spray this $1,800 of like ammunition. I don't want to fill paperwork.
And then the contractors are like, yeah, spray the.
Exactly, it's a government job. So that's just one example of how money gets lost. It's like
what do you
because
mean you
it's
lost
allocated.
$100,000. We just
it's allocated already.
Yeah,
and like the office where they're like, we want to keep it in the budget for next year, so we have to spend it. That's pure the unit. That's the unit. Like the unit I was in. It's like, okay, all the mess dues are in. It's like, okay, we don't want to fuck up the budget for next year, so let's do all these little things that we wanted to do. Let's do them ASAP because you want to at least spend what you got allocated, so you at least get like an increase for inflation, 5%, whatever, something like that. You always got to get a bigger budget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was so funny talking about because you were in the Navy, right?
Yes.
I was talking about.
Imagine I was like,
on CBC. There was this icebreaker that they commissioned this new icebreaker. Oh, fuck, what's the name of it? I forget the freaking name. But it's so funny. The commander goes
thought you were talking about like an opening line.
No.
I mean,
because like it's Canada. We saw the icebreaker.
Yeah.
And it is funny. The captain was just like, it sounded like they were having the most Canadian time on the icebreaker. He's like, I'm a commander or whatever. He sounded so noofy. And he's like, so we saw some polar bears. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's called like the Shawinigan or something.
And it's just like, but you guys got at least sounded like you're like a little bit like the United States is like they're pussies up there. They can't.
Dude, that's so funny you say that. One time I was in Quebec training, and the St. Lawrence is there. So I was in Quebec City, and so a U.S. Navy ship docked, and then they set it up. They're like, guys, all the people in the training school that I was at, the fleet school, they're like, you can set up tours. We're touring these U.S. ships. First of all,
much better.
The first thing you notice is that the U.S. Navy people are on average 2 inches bigger than everybody in Canada. Like, so on average, we're talking about physically bigger people. Everyone is a little bigger. Like, and you know what I mean?
And they're taking notes of you guys and like, oh, let's look at.
Yeah. Oh, and it was like so young. The average person was so much because you know how those targeted ads that you're getting, they go out when you're like 16, 17, 18. In the States, a military is such a solid career. Like every time,
and we get our healthcare without the military, so like they need it.
They need it for
basic shit.
Yes,
like,
for benefits after, for benefits during, to have a secure family life, to fucking get. If you're a black guy who's in the military, you're like closer to white status. You know what I mean? Minorities in the military equals regular white guy. But white guy in the military trumps minority.
Oh, you might as well just run for office. So like, right this way, senator.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so funny when you realize like what they've been doing. It's like, wait, you were just an accountant in the military. I'm a veteran, but you were just an accountant.
Oh yeah, exactly.
In the States, they're just like,
oh, it's crazy, bro. But they did a lot more legit operations and general operations in the States relative to our tiny fleet size and what we do and shit like that. But these guys came, man. It was fucking. They're all young. They're all, and like the ship's huge. It's top of the line. It has a high school vibe. You can tell mad people are fucking like on this thing.
Oh, yeah.
It was just kind of like the guy would like. They're all low ranking. Like it was all seamen.
But you know, I've heard though.
We're just like swing by and be like a girl, be like. And it's all last names in the military,
Yeah.
right? Stevenson, what's or something like that. I'm like, damn, this is like high school.
But you know what's funny though? The United States military doesn't issue condoms. So
Yeah, for sure, because that'd be encouraging sex.
which would
Of course they wouldn't do that.
Which is ridiculous.
Don't ask the hotel, bro.
Don't
yeah,
some of
we
the
want to
things-
know if you're fucking.
When you
know?
think about it back now, you're just like, if they pass, my whole thing is, and I'm not a policy. If someone passes the fucking test, let them do it.
Yeah, go.
It's
for
like
it.
it's like
I mean, it's like as long as you don't get pregnant on any operation, or like jeopardize anything because of pregnancy or sexual activity.
It's like I've jeopardized shit with my penis. Like the
Yeah, but
decisions
military
I've made,
levels?
I've with like that if this thing's fucked me up is fuck.
You know, another thing in the States, it's like constant. Being in the military in the States pays constant dividends. Every time you're on hold for something, you call for us Fido, Rogers, them, Comcast, whatever, AT&T. Every time, if you are a veteran, please press 5 and ask about our veteran this. If you're in the airport, we'd like to thank our veterans and invite you to Lounge 76 in fucking Gate 43. If you're in this, we thank our veteran. Like, it's constant, and a lot of it's just surface level shit. Them being like, thanks,
Now,
you know,
can you
and not
give us
doing
like
shit.
some healthcare more? No.
Yeah. Oh, regular shit. But yeah, if you're fucked, like with Veterans Affairs, you're
Oh.
fucked. Yeah, there's just so many people in a shitty situation.
Because it's
like,
so huge.
well, you send all these people there. So many come back like actually injured, and the people that, and then outside of the actually injured is a pool of people probably 5 times bigger who have some sort of mental
which is like
scarring
arguably
from it.
Like
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
like
Because they end up on the streets and they end up
Like, there's
plugging
more-
up San Francisco, LA, all these warmer coastal places
there's
with the
more-
homeless.
veterans have died from suicide in the military from the Iraq War than actually died in the Iraq War.
Yeah, of course.
Which is just like, why aren't you guys addressing?
Well, not
it?
of course, but it's like that's
yeah, I
what-
understand,
Suicide
like-
is a huge problem for them, and they don't talk about it.
They're like, no. Because I was watching, this is another reason I might get target ads. There's a whole side of YouTube, which is just military humor. Where these guys just make military videos where it's just it's like sergeants, golden age, Iraq, first Gulf War, second Gulf War. And it's just like how you respond. Like if your show was just, but like from a military perspective, and they just get like all these,
Yeah. Oh, there's so much of that like culture in there. Because like, for example, a non-commissioned member, like officers are commissioned members.
yeah, you have to have a degree, right? To be an officer,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
To go into officer school, you at the very least have to be working towards a university degree. So when you're a commissioned member, you refer to a man as sir, you refer to a female as ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are a non-commissioned member, you refer to the person as their rank. Okay? So like in boot camp, if someone's getting yelled at, and it's all the people that are doing boot camp are non-commissioned members. Because we're doing actually the grunt work. The officers are doing admin or whatever, leadership, right? Like, let's say you're getting yelled in your face, you're nothing, private, you're nothing, fucking shit. Do you know why this? And they're like, I don't know, sir. And then you say, sir. They're like, sir, do I look like an officer? I work for my money. I work for, like, that's the whole thing when you accidentally call higher rank
And you know,
non-commissioned
and it's
members.
kinda
They
like-
go, I'm like, sir, do you see bars? I work for my money. Like, that's the thing they
And
say.
even there, they're kind of like,
Oh, and then when the officers come, they stop talking shit. And when the officers are
it's like-
alone, they're talking
talking
shit
shit
about the
about-
non-commissioned members.
oh,
It's a
yeah.
culture.
And isn't there to the point where like there's different bars that they don't go to?
Well, it's like not, yeah, it messes. You're
Yeah,
mess.
mess.
So it's like again, it's like military set up the exact same way. It's almost like they set the military up, and when they had to create public schools, they took the military system and just worked backwards off.
You know
of
what's
it.
funny? But talk about that is that since being a chef, traditional kitchens, because they were first made in the French military, are set up exactly like top down, like
Hierarchy. Clear
and, like,
hierarchy, defined.
clear. Because if you want to get a job done the same every time, you have to know who's above you,
Yeah.
who's below you, and like that's why you say chef, sous chef, like all that stuff. You know,
See, it fucking works.
it does.
That's
It does. Like someone.
See, I don't like.
until they get a
artists
better
don't
system,
like it, but yeah, it
like,
works.
It
And
works.
it's worked for hundreds of years, if not thousands of years of like military and like military operations.
Oh,
and
'cause we like to do war for some
discipline,
reason.
engagement, all that type of stuff. just a hierarchy system is so clear because not everybody's smart and like you can't rely on subjective thought. And like
I'm sure
people,
you like sometimes were there because you're a smart dude. And you must have been like, why or what? There must have been some times where you were.
Well, that's the see. I respect the military fully, and as a reservist, you don't. I had rare glimpses to see how necessary and useful they are. Mm-hmm. As a regular force person, you're on operations all the time. You're doing the legit shit. The reservists, we can dip in and do a 3 week to 4 week contract of legit shit with regular force people.
And
that's how the reservists.
Now, what
work.
do they think about you guys?
See, here's the thing. I never even did one. Okay, so a lot of the guys will go and do a contract and just end up working nonstop, and they're like Class C, Class A, Class B, Class C is like you're pretty much a reg force person. You're like a reservist on like a 2-year contract. So you're like regular force, right? They call it regular force, reg force. So it's like that type of stuff is where they do like actual shit. They're like, okay, we're going to the Caribbean, we're gonna do a peace mission, we're gonna go protect some sort of supply vessel. You know what I mean? But as reservists, it's like, okay, you just go and you keep, as a reservist, your job is to make sure your first aid stays up. Make sure you're shooting. Make sure you're going to the shooting range once a year. Your first aid is valid. Oh,
my dad, because he's a peace officer.
Yeah.
Because he has to do that only once a year.
Yeah. Oh, but like it's presented more than one time a year, and like you can get on all of them.
Oh, okay.
Like there's gung ho guys that just go out, just want to shoot every opportunity that's granted. But there's so much to it. It's like, okay, when you're going, we're cleaning rifles.
Now,
we're putting ammunition in the mags.
You guys have M16s, right?
M16s.
You have one here?
Do I have one on me?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. Like
You don't leave. I'm not in the military, and you don't leave the unit. You don't go home with your rifle, bro.
That'd be so problematic.
You're like, yeah, of course I have one upstairs.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
No, it's funny. Like the whole first half of boot camp, everyone is excited for their rifles. The whole because you don't get your rifle. It's 9-week boot camp. You don't get your rifles to week 4,
and then it gets old.
Oh, dude, it becomes the most work. Because here's the thing: where you don't. The first, you remember that Simpsons one? It's like, when do we get our Simpsons when it's when do we get our freaking gun? It's like, hey, you can't just come a cop overnight. It takes a whole weekend, you know.
Yeah. Which is like, yeah.
But so the first 4 weeks, all we want is our guns. But then, right when you get them, you realize it is the ultimate liability because now, before you had to be in bed by 11. And you could not nap before that. You had to be up by 4:45. Throughout the day, you had to be at certain places at the exact time or you're being punished as a platoon. But now, you have to do all that. Plus, you must know exactly where your rifle is at every given moment. You must have your rifle clean. Do you know what it's like to imagine giving you white cloths?
Oh, no. I've cleaned.
You've cleaned, yeah. Okay, like it's like taking a white cloth and being like, keep wiping the inside of your oven until wherever I wipe, nothing comes off. It's like, it can't be done.
Because it's a piece of machinery. You have to like...
Yeah, it can't be done. That's the whole idea.
And they know.
They know. They
know.
Inspections almost every day, and they come in and they fucking... People that go really gung-ho with cleaning them, they know exactly where to look in your bolt.
Oh, they know. Because they've seen thousands of you.
Yeah. You just can't get all the carbon off of a fucking rifle interior. You can't. You can get most of it, but... You can spend hours getting 99% of it, but they know exactly where to get the one. They go to the corners, push it in. What's this, private? Like, fuck. Spent 2 hours. And you're like 2 hours fucking.
Mm-hmm. Now, is there anybody that's like...
dude, you know, like, people go to the bathroom, they come back, their rifle's gone, they're fucking losing their mind. The duty NCO, non-commissioned officer, grabbed it because he found it being unwatched, and now he's going to punish that person or make a fool out of them or something like that. Constant shit like that.
That's the thing where, like... The humiliation would be like, but we do it in the kitchen too. That's the thing that's where we get the kitchen.
5 weeks of 24 hours. It's like this. You're gonna just run over to your buddy's room down the hall real quick and who borrowed your fucking boot wax or some shit. And you come back and it's, where the fuck's my rifle?
And he knows that you're gonna do that.
You ask your roommates, where the fuck is my rifle? And then like one time I came back, I freaked the fuck. Like, where's that? I thought I was done. My buddy's like, chill. I slid it under your mattress. Because they know the NCOs come and try to fuck. So I looked under my mattress, my rifle. I'm like, oh, thank God. Thank God. That's the last thing I wanted to fucking deal with is a lost rifle.
It's just like...
It's so much. That's what it is. And then cleaning it constantly and having that pressure and anxiety. You're like, I don't want to. Take it back. Oh, we shoot it once every couple days, maybe once a week. Even at that point, we just have blanks.
Oh yeah. You wouldn't like.
But it's like, take this thing back. It's too much responsibility. It's not like, I don't know. You get them, and then we all have that photo shoot, right? All the boys get in the room. Like, everyone has rifles. We pull out the phone.
Now, is there anybody that's just like not about that?
You get it all.
Just like, I'm just here because I need to get through this. Is there anybody that,
Get through this in what sense?
just so I can get my education? Is there anybody that does that? Where
A
it's just like,
couple of people, but it's keep in mind 9 weeks you live with people.
oh, and you might as well
can't
just go drink the
you can't.
Kool-Aid. Like, you can't like, yeah.
Imagine being like, I'm gonna go into the school and I'm not gonna let anyone bully me. I'm just gonna stick to myself.
And they catch that. They smell it on you. You'd be like,
we're social creatures.
Yeah,
bro.
we wanna fit in.
It feels bad to be in the corner and like, you want to be included. You want to laugh
Yeah.
when the people are laughing. So nobody's that much of a lone wolf in
No,
in
and
boot
also
camp. You can't survive like that.
You wouldn't want that. 'Cause that
No,
would be like,
it'd be a
life's
liability.
Life's not Rambo.
Well, in boot camp, they teach you that whole like platoon first mentality. Like if you fuck up, everyone gets punished, right?
We used to do that in school, and it was usually because we like
Again, it's one of those evil systems that works.
where they're like, oh, well, when they do the thing where they go and like they'd find the garbage and they'd be like, okay, now everybody has to stay behind class.
Oh, like you guys, they actually did inspections for you. That's military style inspection. That was class for you?
Yeah. Sometimes they'll just do that shit. But I think they might have learned it from that. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It started in military. I see the same. I use the saying officers and the non-commissioners don't even eat in the same place. It's because you eat in the mess. You eat in the officers' mess, and you eat in the non-commissioned officers. Like there's the galleys, like the kitchen. But like you eat in designated areas, so there's not a lot of that. You only intermingle. You even in the rec room, which is called the mess. Did I say mess already? Either way, like where you go play ping pong, have a beer, and it's like a TV for the game. That's called your mess hall, right? That's separate too. So you never really mingling with higher
where
ranks.
that's from? Because you're Navy, right? That's from because it's the British tradition, and like from like. You're thinking,
Well, I think even before the British people,
'cause
like
they
imagine the higher ranked people in a
you've seen, like,
military
Master-
aren't going to be chilling with the
Master
lower
and
rank.
Commander, right?
So I was front of line today, guys. You know what I mean? Like,
You've seen Master and Commander, right?
no, what is that?
It's a sick movie with Russell Crowe, but it's like
Should I watch it tonight?
oh yes, it's like a ship of the line. Like it's just like
it's a must-watch movie.
Oh, it's a must watch. So it's and with like your Navy tradition could be freaking awesome. So like
I was a reservist, like who did nothing. So
so one of the I love
Master and Commander. I'm embarrassed when I have actual Navy friends around.
Then they're just like,
One time I had to put a Navy thing in the Instagram, and my buddy responds.
oh, you got roasted.
My buddy responds, who's in the Navy right now? My buddy Mo, El Haf. He goes, when did you sail exactly? I was like, oh God, I never said I sailed. He's sailing like right now.
Now he's like
watching this. Fucking.
And it's just there's a point where like one of the officers is caught fraternizing with like the sailors, and the guy's like, don't do that. Like and like because Russell Crowe, it's just a good.
I'm gonna watch it.
But what was it?
Yeah, don't fraternize. What's the word?
No fraternizing. It's weird. It's so cool. I don't know why it just fascinates me. I'm probably not the only one that's fascinated by it.
But like hierarchies,
Yeah, and stuff like that. Where it's just like it's cool.
bro. It's so funny, dude. One of the funniest sights I've ever seen is so in boot camp, the people that actually like do the disciplinary action are like low to mid-level non-commissioned members. So the rank structure real quick for Navy, Canada, ordinary seaman, able seaman. Able seaman is like no one really gets it. You just skip right to leading seaman. Okay? So ordinary seaman, leading seaman, master seaman, petty officer second class, petty officer first class, and then it goes higher to like the highest, okay?
Yeah.
3 more ranks after that. So master seaman and petty officer are the majority of the people who are like, all right, troop, you're going to go have fucking, lunch. You'll be back here by 0600. You'll be in rank here. Like that. They're the people. And then they march you over to your class and they march you to the shooting range. You know what I mean? So the thing is, once you eat and you're walking to the barracks, you're walking to the galley like from your barracks, or going back, you're always marching. You never just walk in boot camp.
Yeah.
You're never walking anywhere. You're always marching. You have to. And like they'll yell at you with a distance. They'll be like, recruit. They'll be like, ordinary. You march, you fucking run. Like sometimes you just hear like people yelling in the.
You're just like, oh, someone's getting
on
yelled
base,
at.
just yelling at, and then you just see them like marching extra hard. But one time, I'm fucking leaving the galley. It was me and my buddy. We're marching. All I hear is master seaman. This guy was the worst. So the people that come to boot camp are just dicks. Who signs up for 9 weeks to yell at people?
Oh yeah, it's the type of person.
Some are
like,
older than you.
Oh
you
yeah,
know what I mean?
It's the type of person that you
yeah,
don't wanna...
it's these are the people that like are trying to be cops, and in the meantime they're in the reserve.
It's just like I want to go beat on some black people, but I can't do that right now.
Just so aggressive.
Like,
this one guy was the worst. I forget his name. He was like this fat guy, like early 30s. You're like, I hate him. Dude, all I hear is, yo, ordinary, you stop, you fucking this. And he's yelling at some guy, who's not marching. And he finally runs to him and he grabs his shoulder and he realizes it's a fucking petty officer, higher rank than him.
Oh,
okay. And he's like, Petty, Pleo. And he like, it was still anger. And
but he's like,
I'm sorry. And then the PO was fucking mad at him. He got that he was like a boot camp guy, but he's like, fucking like, because he was yelling at the top of his lungs at this guy. And he's like, and the PO's always like, fucking retard, notice my rank. Because it's on your shoulders. Notice my rank and stop yelling. This is
because it makes everybody look bad.
Yeah,
if he looks bad,
and he's like,
because he's the guy teaching you guys.
Dude, that face, that switch.
You're like, that
I'll
switch?
never forget it. I'm sorry, Petty. Petty officer, I'm sorry. Like the shame and the like,
because he can't because he has to show that the whole system's together. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the people that he instructs are still within sight, so they see he can't be that like embarrassed.
You know what this is like?
We can see him.
There needs to be a sitcom on this.
Oh, I'm sure. Dude, bro, there's been a million of these boot camp movies.
Because it would just be like, but it have to be Canadian though. It have to be extra Canadian.
Oh,
where they're never actually doing anything. Because it just lends itself.
I miss it. It was my biggest regret is not sailing. I should have sailed. I just had to do a little bit more work. But I chased the money.
I know someone else who's in the reserves technically. Fandad's in the reserves.
He joined.
Yeah.
And he asked me right before. He's like, what do you think? I'm like, dude, why do you want to join the reserves? Like, it's so funny. He's the most political. Like they denied him, and then he wrote this whole thing about how they're being racist and like,
because they're like,
and he was ready to publish it. You can tell, and then they let him in because they're like, this guy writes pretty well, and he's brown. Fuck, just hire him.
Just get him.
Yeah,
because like, see, that's part of the reason too. Like, I don't know. Like, I would probably just like. I'd be like, I don't know. I question too many things. It would be a problem. That's a good thing with like, I'm going to bring it back and plug my thing with,
that's my boy.
With the podcast is that like,
what's your podcast called?
It's called Two Tall Dudes. You can see us on iTunes and Spotify.
And Spotify. Whoa.
And
hell yeah.
What's the other one?
You did it big, baby.
A SoundCloud, the one that hosts it.
Yeah, in case you're on there listening to upcoming rappers.
Yeah, in case you're on there, listen to that.
The hopes and dreams of the fucking broke ass niggas throughout the continental United States.
I was a SoundCloud rapper at one point.
Yeah.
If you go,
were you?
Yeah, I have, but it was back when it started because when it first started,
when there was honor in it.
Yeah, when you couldn't just like upload music. So you either had to upload music to YouTube with a picture on it, so you could hear your music. And then you had to upload to SoundCloud, and then it was a weird world. And then podcasts were just starting, but no one really knew what they were. Remember when people didn't know what podcasts were?
Yeah,
they were like, "What the fuck?"
They're like, they're still just talking without a structure.
It's just a radio. They should probably do something. But now there are now there's podcasts for all intents and purposes are radio shows.
There's so many podcasts.
And I don't like you want a combination of both. And then it's funny when you see like all the news shows trying to do podcasts and they're failing at it because the reason we listen to podcasts isn't to see Conan O'Brien.
I know.
They don't realize this is why we do it.
They just took the late night style. It's like for a podcast to be really special, for it to be really good, I think is like the two people have to know each other for a long time. But not everybody knows each other. You at least have to have a relationship with the person you're talking to. Mm-hmm. That's why it's like podcasts that, like even this podcast, that's why I may in the future, well, let's find out, but I may transition away from a guest podcast just because I want to create some sort of like, you want to have a crew. You know what I mean?
Like, you want
a crew.
When you listen to like someone, like I'll listen to Dan.
Not saying, wait, let me just say this. Not saying that, I don't like doing any of this shit, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But it's like when you are constantly getting new people, you got to get their story first before you can get into the meat of things. And not getting their story gets in the way of the flow.
But when you're listening to a podcast and someone will say something and how the other person on the podcast is going to react because you've been listening to them so long that you know their personality.
You know the dynamic.
And that's what you want from podcasts.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, they're not going to like this. Oh, they're going to ask Jamie to do this. Oh,
you want to be a fly on the wall for this funny fucking thing that happens every week.
You want it to be awkward when you ever meet the podcasters, like you know them, but they don't know you.
Yeah. Oh, that's a weird world we're living in. I watched what was it? Just for Laugh 42 or whatever. Andrew Santino right before COVID was in town, like doing the JFL thing. I went, checked it out. I just walked in somehow. Or actually, no, maybe I bought tickets. I want to look cool. I probably bought tickets. I didn't just walk
Look at him supporting the arts.
90% of the people in the audience were podcast fans. And they did a Q&A at the end where they were asking fucking like specific like, I know you loved your Uncle Smitty at that one reunion, and you said he whispered something to your grandpa. What did he whisper? You know what I mean? Like, they're asking, they're like, Jesus fuck. How did all these random people, I don't even know their face, name, or anything, know like so much about my.
You know what's happening? I'm sure it happens to you. Not that like our podcast is huge, but I've had people message me and like comment on exact things. I'm sure that happens. And they're like, that's funny. When you deep throated that hot dog, I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? Oh shit, you're talking about something that happened in the podcast. Because they talk to you as if you've been talking to them. I'm like, that's a weird feeling. I'm sure you've had.
That's so actually somebody I was like, I put up an Instagram thing one time. I was like, who listens? I wanted some feedback. Who listens to the podcast? Say something so I could DM, says feedback, blah, blah, blah. One guy responds to this question. He goes, he's like, what am I fight? What is it for? Do you hear the words that are speaking on my mouth? I'm like, what? You're gonna reference my intro jingle to my podcast to say that you listen to it? The thing you hear in the first 6 seconds of the podcast? Like, dude, of course I listen to your podcast. And then like what?
And there's always people that you don't come out of the weird woodworks who you don't think would listen to your podcast that do.
That's the majority. The majority is people that I'm like, wow, you're listening to my podcast. God damn, sick.
You're listening.
Yeah,
this
sick.
Is like, which is
I like
cool.
that. It's like, you're never mad.
Because all well and good, like I love my comics, I love us, but you're a small segment of the population, and preferably I would like more people than just comics to listen to a podcast.
100%. Yeah, actually, I have no interest in comedians.
Yeah, because just like
listening to my podcast.
It's like,
and if you are, thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying. Hada, right?
The
Toronto,
podcasts I listen to are not comedy podcasts.
But it's like that's at the end of the day, who's gonna support your career? Who's gonna come watch you? Who's gonna?
Yeah.
That's not comedians.
No.
So I couldn't give a fuck.
Some of them will ask you for
comedians are
free,
watching or no. It's
like,
for people that fuck with the content and the.
Yeah, I did a Zoom show that wasn't comedians, and it was for a Black History thing, and that was so refreshing. Like just doing a show where you're the comedian, and it's like a variety show, but you're the comedian, and no one knows you outside that you're a comedian. And that was just like, it felt like.
Did you do a lot of Zoom shows?
I try to do one once a week.
Damn! Wow, I've done one, and I was like, I just got approached to do one. I was like, no,
it's hard.
I'm like, no. You know what? I'm like, I don't want to cult. I did it one time just because I wasn't planning on doing it, but I did it just because it was last second. I was like, I don't like this. I don't know what this is, and I'm not trying to cultivate this talent. You know?
You know what's hilarious? My boy Steve McGovern, he's a comic out of Edmonton. He did a Zoom show, and he was supposed to do 45 minutes. 10 minutes in, I don't like this. This is the worst thing I've ever done. Gets a laugh, shuts off his computer, and they thought he was nothing. They thought he was like joking.
They stayed online for 8 more minutes.
They're like, he's playing a joke.
Yeah. No. Luckily, your screensaver started. You know what I mean?
Holy shit!
They're like, yo, these pipes are killing it.
It's just like,
yo, those windows, though, still.
Oh, Windows, computer rooms.
Boy, I gotta say this. Have you heard of Dr. Seuss books getting canceled? You heard?
I did it. My last YouTube video on my channel was about that.
Oh yeah,
and we have these books at my house, and the way Dr. Seuss drew black people.
Was it like Dragon Ball?
Oh yeah, like Oob, like Oob.
Dragon Ball Z. That was actually very liberal. That's very like forward. But Dragon Ball, black people in Dragon Ball.
Oh, Oob was awesome. When Oob comes out, you're like, oh my god, he's a black dude.
He had realistic features. Yeah,
and he was like,
he looked like a human.
And he's like one of the best like humans.
Yeah,
and you're like, then they just drop it.
Because in Dragon Ball, a black guy is just a dude with dark skin who has a pink donut for a mouth.
You know what I mean? Powerful. Mr. Popo is still as powerful.
Yeah, Mr. Popo is like the OG nigga in fucking Dragon Ball Z. They have to just stick with that design. He's not worldly. He's not even a black guy, Mr. Popo. Oh, he's like another thing.
He's not in a different. That's the thing why I didn't find it racist.
Exactly. They shifted from him being, but that is what, like him. is pretty much what a black guy was in Dragon Ball, who like a guy in like an audience watching something.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
When you look in the background and you see like the extras,
Black guys, yeah, it'll be like a dog person, a black guy. You remember animals or people in the?
Oh yeah, because their universe is not technically Earth, but like the Dr. Seuss thing. I remember reading those books, and I don't know. When I read it with my parents, I think they explained it because there is a lot of Asian like. But he then would go on to like I talk about this, George Rivard on YouTube. But he goes on. Horton Hears a Who is an apology because he had a Japanese friend.
Horton Hears a whore.
Horton Hears a Whore.
He's just living in a shitty neighborhood.
She's fucking him, but it doesn't sound like she loves him.
Yeah. Horton Hears. Next week on Horton Hears a Whore.
It shouldn't be that funny.
But some reason it is.
It
But
is
keep going.
because it's so.
I don't even remember what you're talking about.
childhood,
Yeah. So you were reading Horton Hears a Who.
and it's an apology to his Japanese
To Chinese
friend.
people?
Yeah,
Because he said
he's like,
China
a
man.
person's a person, no matter how small. And you also got to remember.
Oh, what was the rhyme originally? Like China man so small or something like that?
No, it's just like there's an Oriental person or something.
Yeah, I know. I just checked it out. They're like, and the Chinaman walking with sticks, and it's like a.
It's also in 1936. Keep in
Yeah,
mind,
exactly, dude. I was thinking like,
and he like grew with the times. Like he wasn't.
he evolved.
And he has a book about the Lorax, about environmental ecology.
It was all his early shit that they're trying to pull, right?
Oh
It's
yeah,
his early shit.
It's 1936.
Because by 1960, they're like, oh, we're calling them Asians now.
And he like even realized.
Susie, buddy, come over here. It's like a public.
And I love it. It's just like 1936. Like there was still segregated radio.
Damn, huh?
Isn't that funny? They're like, you don't want to listen
You're
to
not
that
listening
radio.
to wholesome white radio with a white God, white Jesus. Just
That's
wanna
why
say the
square
amen.
dancing is such a thing in so many states. Is because the black dances were like taking their like kids by storm. It's like still what happens now, right? Like
That's hilarious. So square dancing almost became a dance form of propaganda for white culture.
Yeah, they're like, and it still persists to this day. Say something like, people like don't like when people get all weird about people having flat brim hats. I'm like, why the fuck do you hate that? Because black people wear their brims flat. Remember when you'd have your brim like real flat?
Yeah.
And it's like it's always that tinge of like we don't like what they're doing because our kids like it and they're gonna sleep with our daughters, which we do.
Yeah, exactly. Which we have. Which to be fair, we did. You know what I
And
mean?
again, like, dude, imagine like that seems to be the biggest fear, like of like maybe not so much.
I don't know about it anymore. But like like the fear of intermingling races and stuff like that was more of like a pressing like it's so common.
But you know what it comes down to, like, and this is where I'm gonna get a little very left, because like if the races mix,
dude, Jews are okay, all right? Calm down.
that, when
okay?
they
chill
Well,
back.
when
This
they-
guy went on a Jewish rant before. I'm like,
it was horrible.
luckily they didn't have Bankus here, you know?
Don't get me. Okay, what? Did you build this? Sorry, ADHD.
I didn't, but I got off Kijiji though.
Okay, but the reason they don't want races mixing, because what happens when races mix is that they realize that like, oh, you're having a problem at work too. Oh, you two guys too. Oh, it turns out you're not actually the problem. Oh, it's the guy above me that's the problem. That's why they always. They always don't want that.
That's that Chappelle bit. It's
Yeah,
like, That's actually why
Martin Luther King got killed. That's the reason he really got killed.
that's why they started Jim Crow laws.
Oh, because
It's like they wanted the poor white people to feel a little better than the poor black people.
There's
because it's like,
really good
oh, we got our
paper
own nice
on
stuff.
it. It's called
right?
The Currency of Race. There's a good paper on it where they're like they didn't increase the wages of poor whites, but they paid them more by being white. There's a whole bunch.
It's like make one group feel a little bit better, then they're scared that they're gonna be treated like the other group, and then
which is why when it comes down to back to the
divide and conquer, baby. Ooh.
with everything with the white men losing their power, they're scared that once everybody else becomes equal to them, they'll treat them like they treat.
But now it's like the whole idea of white. We speak about it as almost like an idea of white culture, of like the most untainted white culture and white fears are that. But all the white guys around you are not like, oh my God, is he gonna get a hold of my sister? No
one's ever like.
Yeah.
I think like the average white dude, because I know a lot of white dudes. You know a lot of white dudes.
I do.
Don't
I saw a white guy earlier. I spat on him. As you should.
As you should.
fucking
Everybody spitting on a white person away. I don't know.
That gets you a scholarship these days.
So he spat on it. That's
He
like
was male. He was straight though. I checked first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Don't spit
Wouldn't
on
gay.
it.
That's a hate crime.
Oh gosh, that's the one thing I've always wondered. This is
I'm
one
like,
guy.
those shoes suck. I'm good to spit on this.
I was
guy.
like, you know who Dave Rubin is?
No.
He was he's this personality on like the right, but he's gay.
Okay.
And he literally, I've never seen someone's hopes. I never wondered. It gets so ridiculous when you're a gay right winger because like they don't like you, right? And then he was literally asking Ben Shapiro. He's like, so would you like come to like a party of my husband and I? He's like, no. I'm like, oh, dude, that sucks, man.
Yeah.
When you're on the side and they don't even like see you like that, I'm like, why are you doing this, man? Are they paying you that much?
You know what? Being
Like,
being a gay right winger is like that girl that forced herself on the football team when there was no girls football team. It's like, why are you happy or here?
You want to hear what they
extra
say?
hard on her. Everyone's tackling her extra hard.
Because they're showing they're not like it.
Exactly. They're like, you got to be on the team, right? You know, it's
we slap her ass extra hard.
Yeah, but it's still either way. It's like the gay one and the Republican thing is so funny how the
He has to be
party
more Republican than everybody else.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah,
it's like
he drives an H1 that's welded to
it's
another
like Candace
H1.
Owens, like how she's like worse than like the tamest.
Dude, I don't know any of these names, and I feel like you're gonna
dude.
give me background on all these people.
So Candace Owens is like
is she a bad bitch?
She is the most ruthless black woman.
Dude, you were literally describing a bad bitch.
Yeah,
If I understand the term correctly. She's the most ruthless black woman I've ever seen. That's a bad bitch.
She like said that George Floyd deserved it.
Ah, okay. Oh, and she's Republican.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so she's trying to possibly get
She's getting that
a presidency.
She's getting to get that.
Where is she at? Is she a governor? What is she?
No, she's just
Senator?
a personality. But she's like married to the person who she's married to.
But she's married to a really wealthy guy.
Married to a wealthy guy whose dad is in the House of Lords in England.
So we're talking a guy whose dad was even a wealthier guy.
Yeah.
Damn. Candace Owens, where are you in my life?
Isn't that funny that that's a thing? That you can still be a lord? Like, we didn't get rid of that?
What are you talking about? The queen of fucking... What about forget about lords. The king of Saudi, the prince of Saudi. Those niggas are like...
Oh, and they're just so rich.
Yeah, they're like going to London and flying in their
and they're like,
Bugatti.
now, okay, this is a question. Do they, like, they're not supposed to drink when they're in Saudi. They must drink and party hard when they're, like, over here.
No, and they drink in Saudi, bro. Why you think? No Grey Goose when we are back here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm assuming they're drinking way better shit, but it's like, no. They're
It's only for the
drinking
poor people
whatever they want.
that aren't allowed to drink in Saudi.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
They're doing everything, dude. Like everything. Like I look back at my boot camp on the base. I'm sure those officers and those fucking master seamen, I'm sure they were blazing in their fucking room at night. I'm sure. Now that I'm an adult, I realize everybody's smoking weed. Every adult here.
Oh, every adult, unless they can't do it, does it.
50%. You know what I mean? And like some are smoking because it's legal now, which is the fucking most uncool loser thing.
My mom's
to do.
like that.
Yeah, but still, that's old generation.
That's old generation.
I'm
Like,
talking
it's
about
legal now.
I know people my age who are smoking now because it's legal. Our age, bro. What the fuck? Yeah, I swear to God, it's loser shit. But anyways,
You don't have to do it because it's cool. Like, we already liked you, man.
Yeah, like those guys, I'm sure they were getting fucked up every night, and then it's just like they just they push this reality.
I'm sure some of them
on
are hungover, like, yelling at you.
Dude, of course they have to wake up at 6 too, man. They're fucking not happy.
Oh, yeah. Like, but that do you get early? Do you still get up early because of that?
We wake up at 4:45 every morning.
So I had a job this summer where I had to we'd work at 5. So you get up and you get used to it. It's a weird acceptance. Like you just like,
waking up early just takes like a week or even less to get used to. Because when
then-
you line up your time with the sun.
oh, you're just like, boom. When you're camping, getting up early is so easy. You're like, oh,
It's now like there's like life around me and the light is coming through and
it's
it wakes
dark.
you up.
You're like, I should go to bed now.
Yeah, exactly.
I should go.
I'm trying to follow that more recently.
Oh,
Just
me
to,
too. Because like when nothing, especially when you have no reason to get up, you just start turning.
Damn, bro. What do you mean? Are you in a deep depression, homie?
No, not
Let's talk, bro. Sometimes you have no reason in this world to get up. Oh God. Let's talk, brother.
It's like
I've seen those mental health bus
like,
ads.
Just like, have you noticed there's never black guys on that?
It's black guys when it's that pill that's like my pill, my life. that guy. It's always a black dude.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's
Yeah.
so funny. So that's another Target ad.
For you?
Yeah.
Yo,
I
this guy. They're like, what's the vibe of this guy? Military and AIDS. You know what I mean? AIDS military.
It's just like, what does Google think
The
of me?
coolest soldier of all time. You know?
The Google.
He's the Freddie Mercury of soldiers.
That would be amazing. A military musical friends. Oh gosh, it wouldn't get past.
Stand on command and step 2, 3. Marching to the homies.
We just made up the Village People. It's already been done.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
We already did it. You know when the idea is too good and you're like, this is amazing, and then you're like, oh wait,
It's been done.
It's been done.
It's that whole South Park thing with
Like,
with Simpsons. Again.
Simpsons did it. Simpsons did it.
Oh, fuck, bro. Let's land this podcast,
Yeah, let's
huh?
land-
I got to make moves. Yo, tell the people about your new pod and tell them where to find you.
Okay, you can find me, Instagram, Yukon's Black Comedian. And you can find us on Too Tall Dudes. I should know.
Yeah, Two Tall Dudes.
Too Tall Dudes, yeah. Too Tall Dudes.
I just saw it. I was like,
Spotify.
That's your
Spotify,
podcast name. Correct, yeah.
iTunes, and SoundCloud. Give us the 5 stars. And on YouTube, I do my own content. A little lefty slant at George Rivard.
Have you done that for a while?
I've been doing, I've had a YouTube channel for 10 years, but I'm now finally putting up content on a consistent weekly basis for the past 2 months.
Fuck yeah, that's what I'm
That's what it is. Podcasting, you know it. Like people just like having that consistency. You just need to do it.
like your personality.
You
and who
don't
you are.
don't do it 2 times a week because you're never gonna do it. Just do it once. Like,
Get it.
get it.
For me, do all the shit that this guy just said, but for mine. Okay, all right?
Do it for him. And check him out on TikTok. He's funny.
Yeah, they know. But, bro, these are my people. You know what I mean?
They
These
know.
check them out on
That's the one thing I lag on.
That's my nigga right
I've done
there.
like 4 TikToks.
Bro, give me your black person card right now,
Yeah.
okay? Yo, but from my end, you guys are the best. Until next episode, peace. Yo, and that's the episode. Remember, if you liked it, smash that subscribe button so I can give you updates. And until next time, it's your boy, Abbas Wahab. Easy.